Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name's Josh the RVer, and as you can see, it's now mitten into glove wombo combo season because it is cold out here today. Today behind us is one of our newest Go Play floor plans. We've continued to expand this lineup, and we've had a lot of people say, hey, we like what you're doing, but we need it a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller. So that's what we came up with here today. It is an equipment package difference from some of our other Go Plays because this is absolutely unapologetically targeted into that absolutely aggressive price point entry-level market sector. This doesn't necessarily follow all the normal rules of all of our Go Plays, but it's also our smallest, lightest, and least expensive Go Play. So if you are a first-time camping family and you're wanting just the basics for a weekend trip, that's exactly where this one comes in right here. The thing is, there's almost every builder of travel trailers today has their version of a floor plan like this. So why did we make another one? What is different about ours? That's what I want to focus on. Generally speaking, what you're going to find is this is pretty much the same price as any of these other like 16, 17 quote foot bunkhouses, even though they're closer to 20 feet. It is under 4,000 pounds total max GVW, so you don't have to give up your daily driving vehicle to get into one of these. It is also bigger without being bigger. And I know that that sounds like an arm just grew out of my ear, but what that means basically is this is a standard size body with an extra tall ceiling on a smaller, shorter, lighter kind of camper platform. It's a full 8 foot wide, it's 6'9" tall. It also is one that has a real furnace instead of just an electric fireplace. And a lot of people don't even realize that some RVs don't have that. This also has a larger, more powerful air conditioner as compared to some of the side mount airs. But like anything, there's pluses and minuses to it. So I want to go through this one because there's some things on this that absolutely drive me nuts that I don't like, but there's also some things on this that for the money I respect. I want to take you through her. You decide if it works for you or not, and if you appreciate how we just put the facts on the line and let you decide if it's a good camper or not, hit that subscribe button. And as we go, leave me some feedback, tell me what you think. Now through this video, even though this is a product that is exclusive to us here at Bish's, and we're pretty proud of it, there's things about this RV that I don't personally like. And one of the nice things about working here is that they basically give me a James Bond license to kill carte blanche to pretty much tell you what I think and what I feel. So a lot of what I'm going to share here is my personal opinion, but I'll try to make sure you know that that's just my opinion because I don't think I'm an expert and I don't think it's my way or the highway. I think anyone who self-proclaims themselves an expert needs to take a step back. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm getting off kilter here. Anyway, one of the things that I like is that we maintained a full window in the door because this RV painfully lacks campsite window coverage. In fact, we are looking at 100% of it right now. Now, at least the windows are located across from your bed and your seating. So if you are inside and you hear some crazy sound outside, you can decide how to address that. But a few of the things that we've done differently on here. The fact that this is a full 8 foot wide body. It's a standard size body. It's not a reduced size camper. We also didn't even just go with a industry standard ceiling height. We went with our normal extra tall 6'9" height. And the funny thing is there's this pattern in the RV industry where shorter RVs also tend to have lower ceilings. And that's not, tall people want a small camper sometimes too, but they want to be able to fit on it. So we gave it a taller ceiling. And this could be a deal breaker for some folks. I respect if that applies to you, but it's an east-west bed, obviously. The thing is, what's less obvious is that it's not a camp queen. We did outfit this with a 60 by 80 true queen. One of the things there is, again, if you're a taller person, you can actually fit on it. Secondly, if you want to replace that factory backbreaker death wafer junk mattress, you can get something that you prefer. Now, sometimes people will ask, why don't you just ship this with no mattress? And it's a fair question. But I will say that if we tried to ship an RV with no mattress, I feel very strongly a lot of people would accuse us of trying to cut every corner we can and not giving the RV the fair opportunity we think it deserves. But that's just our 2 cents. Now, in a little camper like this, a lot of people are not going camping for TV hookups, but a lot of these little campers in this class no longer include TV hookups. And we made sure that basically anywhere that you sit or sleep, there's some kind of power solution near you. Right here, we have both households and USBs, But in a lot of RVs, you don't get either of those. For the most part, especially USB plugs. And again, I want to be fair. If you add a TV over here, you have to consider the fact that the wardrobe door might conflict with it. I think a TV is a secondary concern in a camper like this, and very few campers like this at this budget also include any sort of hanging wardrobe space. I will say Keystone's been pretty good about that for a lot longer than most brands, but a lot of builders just don't give you any place to hang even a jacket, And it's not flashy or fancy, but it's something. This still has the same pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry construction that you would find. If you're kind of curious to see how an RV's cabinets are made, by the way, I'll teach you how to fish. You don't even need to ask a salesperson. Flip your phone into selfie mode and stick it behind a vertical board like that right there, and you'll get to see visibly, are they screwed together or are they stapled together? Now, it's kind of funny because we went with the taller ceiling. It makes the normal sized cabinets look smaller, and they are up higher. So if you're a little more gravity friendly as opposed to taller like me, they might be a little bit difficult to get to. I'll tell you something that absolutely drives me crazy on these. I hate it. I hate it myself personally. I cannot stand the fact that we have absolutely nothing holding up these dinette cushions, and that's I wanted to let one of these just stay flopped like that so I wouldn't forget to talk about it. And I hope you appreciate that I'm willing to be candid and real about what I think is good and not good about these. Because if you're a first-time RVer and you don't know what you don't know, that's the kind of thing that you might not even realize is super annoying. Now, right here, I kind of like what we did with the single pedestal post, but also the table that brackets against the wall. I'm not a big fan of knee knocker pedestal posts, but when there's two of them, it's really a problem. When there's one of them, I still have leg room, and because it brackets against the wall, it's super sturdy and stable. Now, that can still fold down into a sleeper, assuming I don't forget. I will try to give you a quick little sample demo of that in a minute. We're going to make another pass through this, looking at, sleepers and storage and all those little things. And it's just open pocket storage, but I love the fact that we didn't block that off and waste it. A lot of builders will actually waste that space. Now notice again the USB Type A and C plugs for each of these bunks. Only a window for the lower bunk. I know that's not everyone's favorite thing, but again, I'm trying to be real about it. They're basically just climb in coffin bunks, for the lack of a better way to say it. What is nice about these, though, is each of these bunks is rated for 300 pounds. What's really funny is when this went through the prototype phase, the sticker over here actually said 400-pound rated bunks. And then later, it was somehow revised to 300 pounds. So I'm not sure if something changed from our production partner or if they just wanted to play it safe a little bit. But regardless, 300 pounds per bed is pretty good right there, I do think. You might notice it is a peekaboo, I smell you bathroom door, which is obviously not everyone's favorite, but it is what it is. That's actually there for production simplicity purposes. And kind of like we talked about earlier, the whole not an ounce of space gone to waste thing. You see how there's that open pocket below the stove and the drawers right there. I'm not a big fan of open pocket storage, but at least it's all the way down by the bottom of the area right there. One thing I want to point out, though, if you've got a good eagle eye, like if you're a first-time RVer, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't realize that campers like this, not just ours, but a lot of campers in this ultra-aggressive price point, do not have a stovetop heat exhaust vent hood. You see how there's that extra ceiling skylight vent in front of the microwave right there. If you're cooking, you want to make sure you have that vent open to help exhaust heat and humidity while you're cooking, because otherwise what you're going to end up cooking is your own face inside of the RV. And if my voice sounds funny right there, it's because I have to bite my glove to get my thumb out real quick so that I can cut the camera to give you footage like this. Because I figure you're buying the whole thing, you probably want to see the whole thing. I like to make sure you get to see all the extra little storage spaces. Now, if you're looking for a gigantic wastebasket, you have a monster location for one right there. However, being fair, I wonder if that whole area under the sink isn't too open. Like, if there was at least shelves on one side or the other, I think that it could actually be a little more useful and a little more functional. You might notice, again, we didn't downgrade the grade of cabinetry on this. It's still like plywood box drawer construction. It's still pocket screwed lumber core, magnet holdbacks, hidden hinges. This refrigerator, though, is something that we had to make a hard decision on for price reasons. That is obviously a smaller refrigerator, and it is a 110 refrigerator only. It's not 12 volt, it's not propane. And I know that right there is going to be a major sticking point for people. And again, I hope you appreciate that I didn't conveniently forget to mention something that we know is going to be potentially a point of no sale for some folks. We want you to know what you're getting here. If you kind of like this floor plan, but you need just a bigger, better version of it, take a look at our 19BH Go Play. That's a full Go Play, not a Sport. So all the little things this one doesn't do, the 19BH will tend to actually get done. Now, something that's interesting here, like this, it folds down to a small sleeper. I don't have the hard dimensions in front of me, but notice the power outlets right there. Having some power outlets near your dining area is actually really handy, but you're going to have to make sure that you unplug stuff when you fold it down into a sleeper. Chances are that's not going to be a problem, because when you take the dining table off, it's going to be pretty obvious. But I like to just give you those little warnings so that you don't bust your camper. I also want to say, this is a basic camper, but I don't think this bathroom could have been any more basic if we tried it. And I don't mean basic like, girl, you basic, although you don't hear people say that a lot anymore. It's a basic bathroom. I will say, though, being the full 8-foot body, it does give us awesome space that is fairly fluffy friendly around that toilet. Hip, shoulder, legroom, not a problem. Thing is, from the factory, for this ultra aggressive price point, it has no place to hang towels or anything really dedicated in the bathroom. You could maybe, I don't know, I don't even have a workaround solution for you. You're probably going to want to at least get something that hangs over the back of that bathroom door, or potentially put some hooks in the wall. One of the benefits of a stick and tin camper is you take a stud finder, you hold it up to the fella's chest. He goes, "Yep, there's one." Now it's calibrated. Now you can locate the studs in the walls. Then you can hang towel hooks and stuff. That's what I was getting at. Now, the bathroom here, if you notice over on the right side of the screen, it is plenty tall. I'm a little bit over 6 foot myself, wearing some super thick soled shoes, and I can stay in that shower, no problem. This RV doesn't have a skylight vent fan combo, though. This is a feature I don't personally like. It doesn't actually have a bathroom vent fan. I don't like that. It also doesn't have shower surround paneling. I don't really care for that necessarily, but I'm just going to tell you what it is, and I'm going to be real about it. And if there's features like that you would prefer, we have plenty of RVs that do those nicer things, albeit for additional dollars. Also, you don't see a lot of tubs in today's RV development. You see a lot of shower pans. What in a bunkhouse model like this, what is your preference? So this is our smallest and lightest Go Play. If you take a look at the weights and measures over there on the left side of the screen, you kind of see what I mean. About 21 foot total length tip to tail. That's including the whole hitch and tongue and everything. But we are a standard 8 foot wide. We're 6'9" tall, and it has a total maximum weight of about 3,800 pounds. What that means is that there are some tow package SUVs or mid-size pickups that could still pretty readily yank this one around. You don't always necessarily need a big giant monster machine and half-ton pickup to take the family camping. But the thing is, this doesn't have to be just a family camper. I think that's definitely the default version usage of this with dedicated bunks. But I've seen a lot of people purposely get a small bunkhouse camper just to utilize the bunks as extra storage space, which small campers typically lack. I am pretty happy with the updated graphics package that we have on our Go Play family over here. There's a couple more samples in the background. It just looks a lot more modern and fresh to me. I like the new logography, if you were. But none of that made sense. Regardless, moving on. A full 8 foot body. Let's talk about it. It gives you more space inside the RV. It gives you more storage. It's what allows you to have hanging clothing storage and a true queen bed, albeit east-west up in the nose of this thing. But it also means it's probably a little bit heavier. It's a little bit wider. It's a little bit harder to see around. So again, I'm always trying to be fair, trying to show you the good with the bad. This model has a tiny awning, but there's just not a whole lot of opportunity to really make that awning much bigger. It's essentially just enough to have a cover over your head. on a rainy day if you walk out. Now, on this one, this is called our Go Play Sport. We specifically put the Sport designator on the side of it just to kind of help people understand that it is slightly different from the rest of our Go Plays. It doesn't have our normal 200-watt solar package factory standard up on the roof of it like you'd find on the rest of the Go Plays. What it does have is the little side mount solar prep plug right there, so that if you want to get a portable panel, you can. You can have a little bit of battery charging. One of the cool things about those portable panels, if you do choose to add one, is that they you could park the camper in the shade and kind of move the panel out into the sunlight, during the day and sort of chase the sun that way. And it occurs to me, I failed to open that baggage door down here, but we're going to turn chicken poop into chicken soup because it gives us an easier opportunity to look at the magnet holdback as well as the fully protected piano hinge on this. So your big giant hinge, a lot of RVs in a budget class will just leave those wide open. The problem with that is it allows the water to get on there. And if you think about what water does when it freezes and thaws and freezes and thaws, it causes that water to expand. So if water gets in that hinge, freezes and expands, it can blow that hinge out and it's not going to work as well anymore. Now, behind that wall panel, you might notice how this doesn't have a full front pass-through compartment. You can lift the bed up on the inside to get to that. By the way, I don't think I demonstrated that inside. If I did, wonderful. But, that's where your water tank, I believe, is located. Your freshwater holding tank is actually under the headboard area of the bed. And that's basically just because this thing is so small, there's just only so much physical space to put everything. Now, it obviously, if we're going to say campsite window coverage, it sucks. Let's just call a spade, a duck a duck. When it comes to window coverage, this one sucks. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it worked every time. So here we are, guys. We did still keep a window in the door. In a budget class like this, a lot of brands will not do that. And we did still maintain the tinted windows on these just to help give you a little bit of protection from the sun and the nosy campsite neighbors. One thing I don't like on this, and again, I hope you appreciate that I'm sharing what I like and what I don't. I dislike the lack of front stabilizer jacks on this model because single axle campers tend to be a little bit wiggly. This was unapologetically built with a price point in mind, but it means sometimes that we had to do some things that I don't necessarily like, and I'm not the guy who necessarily makes all the decisions on these products. It's kind of tricky, because if I had my way on everything that I would like, the RV would weigh more and cost more than it does, and for some people that wouldn't work, you know. On the back over here, we do have a propane-based water heater, and we also have a single sewer outlet because it's kind of the kitchen and the bathroom all shoved into one corner. It's very easy for them to do that. Now, this doesn't have any kind of big, fancy, special ground clearance package or anything like that. But one thing that we did do is we did outfit it still with the galvanized wheel well guards here. So God forbid you have a blowout or something like that. There's still a little bit of protection in there so that if that belted radial gives up the ghost, it doesn't rip everything up, tear everything up. Now, it's cold out here right now where I'm recording this. You probably can't feel that, but I'm sure you can look in the background and see the snow, and you can see that it's cold right now. This is not made for any sort of extreme weather. There's no special cold camp package on this. And at this price point, if anybody tells you that, they are lying. There is no camper in this budget range that has an extreme weather package. We did outfit it again with that bigger air conditioner on the roof to make sure that you have, maximum summertime cooling power, because that is where we expect this one to get used the most. But if I don't, share that, some people might draw the wrong conclusion, and that's not at all the goal that we want. So there you go. Let me know what you think about this. Now, again, they are not the only ones making floor plans like this. I mean, Jayco, Cherokee, Wildwood, everybody makes something like this. I'm going to leave some links to those in the video description. I'm also going to leave you a link for pricing and availability over here. And I want you to tell me, if it was your money on the line, which one would you like better? Because really, at the end of the day, that's the big question. Do I like this camper better than my money? And which one do I like better than the other ones? I'd be kind of curious to know what you think. And if you like how we just shoot you straight on this stuff, hit that subscribe button. We'll keep on cranking them out. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.